Hi there. If you want to learn how to create sound effects, you are in the right place. Today, I'm going to show you how you can create your own bullet ricochet sound effects. Recently, I had someone leave a comment on a post that I made, and they were saying if I could make a tutorial showing how I would go about making some bullet ricochet and bullet impact sound. So that's what I'm going to do in this video tutorial. So with that said, let's get inside of Reaper and we'll get going. All right, so here we are inside of Reaper, and the first thing I'll do is just play you the sound that I created here, and then we'll go in and I'll show you how I created it, and then how I created a whole bunch of different variations and different impact sounds. So here is the ricochet sound. Okay, so that's just one sound effect, but basically what I did to start here is I just created a new track here, and what I did is I just used NVK create to create a whole bunch of new sounds. So if I clean this up here, so here's my tonal layer. And if I was going to restart, I would create another track here. And all I did here was I loaded up NVK create here. And on here I said metal hit, or metal impact, something like that. So basically I want some metal sounds. That's what's going to give you that metal impact. If you want wood, search for wood stuff, and I'll show you actually a different project where I did do that. So here I just did 10 variations, 5 items. So I'm just going to run that really quickly. All right, so that gave me all of these sounds here. So now if I take all of these, move them aside here. These are the types of sounds I got here. Right, so you got some sounds like that. I had some of them in reverse, some of them are forward, and yeah, that's it. So what is actually gonna make your ricochet impact sound now is gonna have some sort of Doppler effect on here. Personally, what I did up here is I loaded Doppler Pro and NVK Auto Doppler right here to be able to load the different effects here. So if I load this up here and you see it, so if I just play the metal portion here, that's what it sounds like. And I just added here, you can see a bit of enforcer to add some bass. So without it, right, it just adds a bit of punch. But this is it. So basically it's going to whiz by really quickly through here. And then it's going to slow down right at the impact point. Here is the preset that I use for the NVK Auto Doppler here. So I had the offset to 0, just so it lines up right at the peak where the files line up. The speed here, you want to probably play around with that. Mine is around 500 miles per hour. And then the distance, you want it pretty close to the listener. So right now it's at around 2. I found that if I was at 0, it sounded weird. It's okay, but I wanted a bit more of that whoosh right before the impact happens. Right, so this helps to have a bit of that whoosh. Right, so if you want more of that whoosh, you can make the distance a bit further away from the listener. Right, and you can get that sound. Right, and those are just the metal sounds. So if I take this off here, and we have a listen to just the sounds on their own here, what sounds that actually ended up being layered together. So right here, there's 5 sounds. So here's the first one. Right, so that's what this is here. And of course, now when I add this in here, right, that is adding that in. Now, so that was my metal layer. After that, I wanted to add some sort of like whiz by sound. And to do that, as you can see here, I did a lot of different variations and each of them is okay and it's good and it works for different things. So I'm going to show you how I created that. This is the one I kind of chose. Right, sounds like that. So, I mean, you could have really chosen a different one based on the characteristic that you want. Right, maybe something like that. Right, each of these work. They're different. It just depends what you want. And here you can see I panned the sound here so that it kind of moves across your stereo field. So it feels like it's wishing by you. All right, so let me show you how I created these tonal sounds. So we already talked about how to create the metal sounds or the impact sound, right? It's just NVK create, layer a bunch of different metal sounds, have a Doppler effect go through really quickly and then kind of slow down right at the transient point. And then for the tonal layer, let's talk about how I created that. All right, so here is one version, way that I did it. It's a super simple way. It's basically just a sine wave, and then it's just getting pitched down here. So I assigned the LFO here to pitch down the pitch. This was okay, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. Actually, it was more accurate and more easier to control the pitch if you use an envelope. And that's what I did with this one here. So if I play this one. So this one I had a bit of an attack. You don't need to do that though. So let's break down how I created this here. So here I just used a sine wave again. I added unison. pitched it up, I brought the level down, and now the level is being controlled here by the envelope here, and the pitch here is also being controlled by this envelope here. And then I also assign this note module here. And what this is doing is, as I play up on my keyboard, it's going to pitch the sound higher up, and as I play lower, it's going to pitch lower. So just more extreme pitch shifting. Right after that, it's just a matter of adding here a filter and a bit of distortion. That's it. Right, and with that, I'm able to create a nice little decay that is really long with this envelope. Now, what I also added, which I thought was kind of nice and helpful, is I have this impact explosion tail. This is from my explosion sound pack, and I just dragged it and dropped it in here. And so if I just play this on its own, I pitched this up really high, and I also pitched it down as the envelope goes. So this here is getting pitched down while this explosion layer is getting pitched up. So the tonal element's getting pitched down, the explosion element is getting pitched up. So you kind of have this like reverse pitch shifting happening. Right, and it just gives this like really wide tail sound. So when I play it together now, right, that's the sound. And if I play it, what I did up here, I think it was this one here. Like I really shortened it up here, but if I listen, right, and if we play that together with the metal impact, right, you get that sound. So that's how you can easily create some sound. Now here I have I created a whole bunch of other stuff. So if we let's play through here so you can see exactly what I created. Here is a similar thing. Except what I did is, you can see here with NVK Create, I just searched with A. So basically anything in my library that had the letter A in it would be chosen or could be chosen to be layered here. So basically any sound that I have in my library was getting picked. So it's not just metal sounds. So what's fun about this way of doing it is that I was able to just explore and experiment with different sounds. So let's have a look at what I was able to just quickly render out here. Again, same thing here. I'm using the same preset here with NVK Auto Doppler and Doppler Pro here. Right, so you get this whiz going by, and then you get this metal hit or impact. Same thing here. Right, same idea there. And here, I actually did it with wood. So, sorry, no. So here, I actually did it with wood. So let's have a listen to this one here. Right, so this one is the same idea. I could probably bring up this. You don't hear much of this tonal layer here. All right, but it's in there. I don't think it's supposed to have Doppler Pro on there. I think that's why. Right, so you still got that tail and that whiz sound. Yeah, so that's just with wood. Yeah, and I think that's kind of basically it. It's like I said, this is a really basic tutorial on how you can get going really quickly and easily, and it's a lot of fun to just experiment. And so just experiment with different materials, different sources, different debris afterwards. I didn't show it in this video, but adding debris to it, and experimenting with different tonal layers. So I showed a really simple one where I was doing pitch shifting down, but you can also do stuff where you're adding effects like flanger and frequency shifting and a distortion. Or what also works great that I've done is stuff like FM synthesis. All right, so for example, like this one here, so I have a wavetable up here, I have another sine wave down here, and I increase the sync here, and I assign that to the phase. Now I can get these like interesting sounds here. Right, so for the pitch here, I'm assigning this LFO. That's why it's sounding like it's going up and down really fast. Like you get that laser shot. Right, but doing this is also a great way to have that tonal layer, and then you can layer that with other sounds. So anyways, yeah, just experimenting with those, changing the filters, changing the EQ, changing the sound sources, and you can get a lot of cool sounds that you can, and layers that you can create the bullet ricochet sounds. All right, so I hope you found this video useful and valuable and that you learned something. If you have any comments, questions, please leave them down below. And if you want to see another video where I go over a whole redesign that I did for I think it was a Battlefield game, I'll put it on the screen here where I did some explosions, some weapon sounds, some bullet ricochet sounds and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to see it, I'll have it on here. And just a reminder, if you haven't done so already, to grab the sound pack. I will have a link in the description below. All right, so thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. I'll see you in the next video.